Okay, I feel like I'm gonna regret doing this video like this so hard because of these crazies. Hello. Hi. Hi. I wanted to talk about yesterday. You didn't deserve that, and I should have put more effort in, and I'm sorry. And I promise that that is not your ex-boyfriend talking. I actually mean it. Yeah, I honestly forgot the entire day that I was meant to make a video. Like after doing it the first day, my mind just poof, and I didn't think about it at all. And I wrote some stuff down that I wanted to talk to you about, and I realize now that if I'm using my phone to record, and also that is where I wrote the stuff down, that's kind of a problem, right? You're gonna get a lot of ums in this one, a lot of me trying to avoid dying, but I thought you deserved the energy. Also, I realize now I left the door to the house open, and my husband's trying to put our toddler to bed, and I've probably just completely destroyed any progress he's made towards doing that. So there's 3. Our 4th is probably definitely, hello, Cleo. Hello, Cleo. Hello, hello. Our 4th is definitely in the house doing something he's not supposed to be doing. But anyway, I don't know if I have tracking on or not. It doesn't look like it. So this is a little bit fast and loose. But you know, I was watching some other videos. There's this channel that's like obviously way bigger than mine because they all are. But she's got like kind of just cool girl energy. Cleo! Cleo! Sorry, I didn't mean to yell in your ear. You're right here with me, but she's not. So anyway, there's this channel called You, Me, and Margot, and she does a lot of sewing stuff, and it's super cool. And she posted a video today about this table that I've had for literally over 10 years, and I was like, oh shit, I could have made a video about my table I've had for over 10 years. And I've been really into sewing like my entire life, and she was using that table as a sewing table, which I never would have thought of. So I guess now in retrospect, no, I couldn't have made a video about that table. Hi, welcome to my, welcome. Let's see, let me try to remember the other stuff I wrote. But I wanted to come out here because Margot, I think, is the dog's name, but the girl has like just kind of, like I said, like cool girl energy. And I was like, you know what? I haven't played with my dogs enough. I don't feel like, you know, instead of me going and like rotting in bed again, why don't I come out here and be with these goons who I know will put hair over me? So I was wearing, y'all, I was wearing my favorite sweatpants, and I changed into shorts just to do this for you. So doesn't that also sound like your ex-boyfriend? Like doing some shit you never asked him to do and then being like, say thank you. Anyway, I really like wanted the change of energy in a way. All of my dogs are inside now. So, well, I mean, aside from you, obviously. Yes, hello. This is Kratos. He has never been loved to the extent that he believes he deserves. It's never enough with this guy. Little black hole. But I was watching a few videos and they were all like super low key, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of fine. But then also like watching my previous 2 videos I just made, I was like, dude, I'm bored. So let's go out and play with the dogs and maybe be less boring. What else did I want to talk to you about? There's like this ongoing kind of conversation between some people I work with about the moon landing and whether or not it was faked. I'm very into space. I have like a space adjacent degree thing. I should really calm down, but these dogs have me like on edge. Anyway, when I tell you it's multiple men in their 50s and up, and they kind of have these conversations just to like get under each other's skin a lot of the time, which is fun. And they've been doing it for, 20 years, so who am I to stop them? But one of them's really into sci-fi, and the other ones are just like kind of chill guys in a way. And the one guy just said that he had seen like a couple questions that he thought were kind of valid regarding the moon landing. Like, I guess they filmed, like as a backup plan, they did film a fake moon landing. I don't know. I didn't verify. I didn't cite the sources while I was out having a ciggy with these guys. But that really hurt the other guy's feelings. And he was like, it can't be fake. Like, would the, you know the meme, like, would people do that? Just go on the internet and lie? That was kind of this guy's idea, but like with the government. And it was like, hate to tell you, fam. But anyway, so that was interesting. And it made me kind of think about like, there's always that, you know, that shitty person who's always just asking questions. And it wasn't necessarily this guy in this conversation, but it's like, is there a word for that? Is there a word, or like, is there a good way to explain like how your ability to ask a question doesn't actually take that much fucking thought to listen to another person speak and then just use that to make a question against whatever they're saying? Not something to super get into. Holy shit, my dog is drinking water right now, and that is one of the worst sounds you could possibly be doing. And then why? Why did they drink the water and then put their spitty ass mouth on you? Why? Why? No. It's so gross. It's so gross. Here, take your spit back. What else did I want to talk about? I was watching. Oh, wait. I'm telling you, maybe this wasn't the best plan. Also, hopefully you can't hear the fuck ton of cicadas going on. I'm gonna murder the dogs. You know what? As a person who gets overstimulated way too easily, dogs were not the answer. I love them. But also, like, I wish they would actually listen when you're like, okay, please get the fuck away from me. You know what I mean? Like, I have 2 Shibas who are not with us right now. There's a reason for that. Shibas are my favorite breed of dog. I've had 3 in my life. These 2 dogs, not Shibas. These 2 dogs like this all the time, constantly. My Shibas are off ignoring me, doing something they probably shouldn't be doing. But, oh, there's my husband. Hello. There they go. My husband just looked at me like, what the heck? He doesn't even need to know there's a camera, honestly. I'm pretty sure at this point in my life, he could just like walk out to me just yelling, literally at a brick wall. And he'd be like, yeah, okay. Like, and not even in a judgy way, but like in a, hey, scooch over. That seems like a relatively good idea kind of way. There's a lot of mosquitoes out here. What else did I want to talk to you about? I wrote some notes down. I told you I wrote notes down. Let me go inside. This has been a lot. So let me go inside, and we're going to go somewhere quiet. We're going to calm down a little bit. We're going to go somewhere that doesn't have mosquitoes. This was cool and fun to try, but also I wanted to be there for you and put the energy in for you and for me. But this is too much, and I'm overstimulated, and I'm getting bit by mosquitoes. And there's my sheep! And there's my other sheep! Look at you! Look at you! Y'all, okay. Before we go inside. Come here. Come here, you little shit. Come here, you little shit. This is a baby. This is a baby. Yes, Udi, we know you're the baby. We know you're the baby. Look at this guy. Look at this mug. Oh, you never seen someone so handsome. Aside from the other one. Yes, Udi, I'm not going to pick you up. You're a little bit too big for that now. Okay. Hi. Did you just eat? Your breath smells like dog food. Okay, are we ready to go inside? Maybe cool down a little bit. Maybe I can take the sweater off. Stop hitting the mosquitoes. My legs are all scratched up. I've got dog spit everywhere. I think I think I did enough. And if I hear the dog drink water one more time, I might just snap. So I'll see you here in a second. Hey, so let me just push that over. Hi again. I know that wasn't very long for you, but it was. I mean, it wasn't very long for me either, but still. You know, I used to have a couch in here in this little corner. Honestly, I might prefer the floor. If you're wondering why I'm not sitting in the big chair, that's my husband's big office chair. I only sit in that. Well, I don't really sit in it ever because it's weird and it's not mine. I'm going to open my laptop here and see if my notes like synced. Okay. Let's see what I typed down. Not really typing. I kind of use voice to text, and I'll talk to you about that why in a second. We might just like kind of go through this rapid fire. Just kind of talk about these things and just end it for the day, right? So many things to talk about, but let's start with yesterday. You didn't deserve yesterday, and I'm thankful to those who watched it. I had the length of time that recording and editing took on Monday, and I was a bit, okay, yeah, so let me not read what voice to text did because it's hit or miss. Sometimes, I swear, it's perfect, but today was not that day. I thought about how much time it took to record the video and edit the video on Monday, and also I was like really not happy with just how kind of boring it was. I felt like it was just a really flat video, and I was like, why would anybody ever watch this? But also it took me like 2 hours to edit it, and I screwed some things up I haven't screwed up before, and it just took a long time. And so all in, for that like 20-minute video, I'd cut down about 40 minutes of like footage down to the 20, and I still felt like it was too long, and I just didn't, it wasn't something I was happy with. And also I feel like I took way too long to do it. So then yesterday I forget completely about the fact that I've agreed to this, and remember kind of, I say last minute, but it was really only around like 6 or 7, but I get up at like 6 every morning, so 6 or 7 is kind of like, you know, that's nighttime. that's too late to start anything time in my brain. And I was like, oh my God. And I thought about how long the day before took, and I was like, I cannot possibly do that, nor can I create anything in between. Let me just talk at my phone for literally like a minute and just throw it up there, because something's better than nothing. So that is something that I've worked on. Like, let's at least give, you know what, a shitty product's better than no product. But also I'm still kind of working on that, like, that dichotomy of like, you have every option in between, right? Of a video that takes 4 hours and is like shitty and something you're not happy with, and then just staring at your phone for 1 minute and then throwing it up with no edits because you can't be brought to care. But like, then that minute video got 45 views, and I was like, holy fucking shit, I've wasted 45 minutes of like these lovely people's time, and I don't like that, and I'm sorry for that. I also didn't need to talk about every single thing. I do feel like I want to talk to you about everything that's coming to my mind, but we have 30 days, and we don't just have 30 days. That's just where it's going to start, right? So maybe I can write things down and like do them later. Now, again, I don't have a diagnosis to back this up, but writing things down and doing them later, not a great track record of that actually working for me, but we'll see. Let's see. Oh, and so like my overarching goal is going to be like, let's try and keep it to under an hour. I would like to, you know, kind of record these, and once I edit them just for this 30 days, right? Like, I'd like to do it under an hour. And I think that there's a time and place for videos that take longer. but I haven't like really dug into anything, right? Like even my longer videos are just me talking. I don't know if you're familiar with like Big Joel, but like he's got some really long videos of just him talking, but he like dives into stuff so well. And I'm sure his videos are scripted, but like I don't think I have Big Joel energy in the sense that like I don't know if I have like that. I don't think I've found a subject rather that I could really like sit down and nestle in and like not only talk about to you for like an hour, but also be willing to like, oh, I'm going to work on this like every day for a week to edit instead of trying to like make the time between when I stop recording and when it hits YouTube as short as possible. That's kind of getting ahead of myself. But anyway, I did make notes for this. This is the first time I've done this. Maybe I'm talking about them too long. Maybe they should have been bullet points. I don't know. I also like the idea of making goofy ass titles. There's a thing I do with the people I work with that I supervise as like an icebreaker because I think all icebreaker questions are bad. So the question I ask is, what is your most hated food? And so I do want to ask that question like officially, formally in writing, maybe in a later video and kind of talk about the responses that I've gotten. But I really started thinking about talking to you about that today because I was just curious, like, please God answer this question. Do you know anyone that doesn't like popcorn? Like at all? Because I went through everyone I've ever met and I've never met like, okay, preference by all means. Like some people don't like microwave popcorn. Like there's a whole conversation to be had about PFAs and that or whatever. But like some people are movie theater popcorn only. Some like the big bags, like the Boom Chicka Pop or whatever. Have you ever met a person? Have you ever met a person that doesn't like popcorn? Is it a psyop? I'm just kidding. But anyway, please let me know because I can't think of anyone. I dislike getting the kernels in my gums, but I don't dislike popcorn. Talked about that. Talked about how I love Big Joel energy, which if you're watching, and I doubt you are, but anyway, autocorrect made it Big Hole energy, and I thought you would appreciate that. Okay, let me take a breath here and stop acting like a manic person. But I know I've already kept you too long, and I can save some of these for later. But let me just tell you what's on my mind. Let me just tell you what I wrote down, and then we can go over it later. Question I was getting my nails done, and I had the idea to like record and talk to you while I was getting my nails done. But then I got there, and whether it be the social anxiety or just like being polite, it felt super rude to like talk to my phone at a regular volume with like people around me. That feels so much different than a phone call that I just couldn't do it. But while I was there, tell me why your nail salon only plays HGTV or like some other random shit. But anyway, why do people in game shows look like that is my question. Because I was there getting my nails done, and it's always rubbed me the wrong way how people are like dressed and their makeup is done. It all feels very like strongly 2009 in a way that's not a compliment. But I got to looking at it today, and I was trying to like put my finger on what exactly I thought was like off-putting to me, almost uncanny valley, but not really. Contestants in game shows all look like what kids think adults dress like. I think that's my stance. I think if you asked a child to dress an adult up for a game show, that is exactly what they would come up with. But also, no one has updated the wardrobe since 2014, and we're all just stuck there now. And that's crazy to me. Anyway, balancing passion with approachability. I've been talking to some people that have not been in the Air Force as long as me, not been alive as long as me, maybe not just experienced the same things that I have. Because when you have a big ass mouth and are willing to travel, you tend to accumulate a lot of experience, right? And growing up, I was like bullied and really a loner and like just kind of weird and went through a lot of like weird experiences. And I think so many of us have those stories. But, you know, I used to be like passionate in a really aggressive way that was off putting about like what I cared about. And I'm really passionate, like I already talked to you about on Monday. Like, I'm passionate about like women's place in the military and how we support that and stuff like that. And so I feel like in another video, I want to have the conversation about like balancing your passion with approachability. Like, maybe it does like boil down to a choose your battles sort of situation, but it's not how it feels. It's like, how do I regulate the passion I have for certain subjects in a way that is like more productive to conversation? And in regular conversation, I no longer have the mentality of like trying to make it a persuasive essay, right? Like, I'm not trying to convince you of anything in a way that when I was younger and I had, you know, I knew everything. I was like always trying to convince people that, like, no, I got to figure it out, I swear. And I did, I just don't anymore. I lost that. So that's unfortunate. But I do want to kind of dive into that a little bit more. Like, just because I'm not trying to cram this thing down your throat or like force you to listen to me or whatever, like, doesn't mean I'm any less passionate about a thing than maybe the person who's screaming until they're blue in the face is, right? Next, understanding strength and not automatically dismissing it as stepping out of your place. I do want to talk about that. Maybe that would tie into the previous thing, like I just said, but reaching that point in your life where you're like, wait a minute, I think I might actually know what I'm talking about, and then giving advice, like that kind of transition of, you know, especially being like a girl raised in the Midwest whose job is to like make babies pretty much, like being seen and not heard and like, you know, not listened to for so much of my life. And then now like providing mentorship, if you want to call it that, or like advice to people who have, specifically like to people in the Air Force who have not been in for 10 years yet, maybe not experienced the same level of awfulness, abuse, toxic work environment that is maintenance on jets. Any maintenance environment is pretty rough, some rougher than others. I think the flight line is probably the worst, and I was there for a very long time. And so you kind of learn things a lot more quickly, and I'm so thankful to have been able to really escape that environment because it probably would have led to my ruin, and I mean that in a very real way. That was a detrimental place for me to be. And so, like, reaching this point in your life, so I'm about to turn 30 within the next couple months here, and yeah, I'm really at this, like, kind of cusp of, oh, I've been around enough that, like, I might have helpful information to you. Or, like, I've seen this thing enough times. Not trying to be like, you know, oh, this shit again. You know what I mean? And that's exactly, like, kind of what I wrote down. Understanding your strength and not automatically dismissing it as stepping out of your place. Like, coming into your own and understanding your experience and saying, actually, this is how it needs to be. And being like more confident about that and not questioning myself as the kind of young, dumb, loud girl, little girl that I spent so long, such a long part of my life believing that I was, right? and kind of just like, yeah, like managing that transition. And I had a conversation kind of like that today with somebody, and I was like, well, who the fuck am I to give advice? And then I thought about it, and I was like, well, you know, who the fuck aren't I to give advice? Like, I think I'm worried about the right things. I think I have like an okay grasp of things, but anyway. And then there's a couple other things I wrote down. I'm not going to talk to you about those yet. They're ideas I have, but they're a little, I'm not trying to get that far in the weeds on the internet yet. Maybe one day it'll come. Just some parallels I see between some things that have happened in the past and some things that are happening now. Anyway, speaking of, I know I've spoken too long already, so now I have to like get my ass up and go to record it. Yep, hi. Dude, if this hasn't recorded, I'll be so upset. But I'll probably do minimal edits on this one. Maybe cut out a couple times and be like cussing and being overstimulated with the dogs. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just stitch these two things together and just give it to you like that, right? But if you're still here, thanks. Thanks for trusting me with another, 20 or so minutes of your time. Thank you for still being here. Or if you're here for the first time, like, this is crazy. Like 45 views on a video that's a minute long and me phoning it the fuck in. Like, I'm not going to do that again. Like, that's 45 people that I had an opportunity to like have a genuine conversation with, and I threw it away. And I don't like that. If you are the owner of the channel You, Me, and Margot, I think you're dope as fuck. Also, Big Joel, Nate, maybe tagging them. I'm still going to tag them because I talked about them, and also I think you should go check them out. And not all of my videos are going to be this manic, but the moment I got out there with the dogs, I was just like, all right, we're doing the animal thing. So anyway, thank you again so much. I appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow.